I'll follow Ron, just because my background is completely different, the complete opposite of his. I didn't like fishing, I never went fishing, I didn't like boating. I didn't really like to be on the water. But I've been in lumber and plywood for my previous 9 years of employment. And I happened to know John's girlfriend at the time, I'm Jay. And my wife knew her, and we went to a wedding where there were mutual people getting married, but said John and I didn't know anybody. So we ended up sitting at a table, and I'd known John from his prowess in athletics, and then him coming back and refereed high school basketball actually when I played. So there we had something to talk about, and then he asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, right now I'm working as hard as I've ever worked in my life, and it's because I don't have a real job. I go out and receive fish in the middle of the river with the Davises, and I do all sorts of things. And he asked me what I had done before, and I said, I just sales. He said, if you ever need a salesman, let me know. Well, as the night went on, and we both had a couple more rupas, that he said, well, why don't you stop down and see us? We'll talk to you. So I did, and I walked in, and there was Ron Fox, and I knew who Ron was. John and he talked to me, and they just said, well, we work hard, but we party a lot. And what I found out later was it was work parties. It wasn't necessarily fun parties.
After work.
Well, yeah, after work parties. But anyway, I agree with Ron 100%. It's a great company. They really do look after their employees and the employees' families. One of the things that really impressed me, even though it cost me a little bit, was at one point John announced that the company was no longer going to pay for our personal health insurance completely. They used to pay for the whole thing for the employee. But, which I thought, well, wait a minute, you know. But then he said the reason was because of the younger families that were being involved in the company, and it was costing them so much to be able to get, to afford the insurance for their whole families. And he said this way, even though we're going to be charging you some money, it's going to give the younger families a break. And that's typical. That's typical England Marine philosophy. Take care of your people, and hopefully, as Ron said, that they'll reciprocate and work hard.
I was running the cable shop and had a hell of a mess out back because I was busy. And John sent Joe out to help me clean the cable shop. So, unbeknownst to John, Joe and I, we'd have our lunch, so we always go to the Portway, and we'd have a picture of beer with lunch. So, unbeknownst to John, Joe and I cleaned up the shop. John says, I'm taking you to lunch. Where do you usually go? We go to the Portway. And then we walk in the door, 2 pictures of beer come flying in front of us, and John looks at us, and we're drinking our pitcher of beer at lunchtime. And the next Monday morning meeting, there was a little memo. There will be no more beer drinking at lunch.
Never take your Boston favorite.
I had experience working in a rigging shop in Aberdeen for 5 years. And my boss was not very nice to me, even though I did a hell of a job for him. So I went over to competition one day and I said, Marv, I need to find a new job, hoping they would hire me. He says, Dan, I don't have a job for you. Next day, I got a call from Astoria from John England. I'd never been to Astoria in my life. I'm a 26-year-old, don't give a shit, drinking, raising hell fool. It don't matter. Ended up in Astoria. John hired me. A young man hired me, I should say.
Yeah. Younger.
He had an older roll-top desk in the old store.
Yep.
Yep, the young man hired me, but he looked at me and says, this is what you got. What is it? Nothing. A little alleyway, no forklift, I mean, a press. He says, Dan, you could take this anywhere you want it to go. And I look around right now and I go, I'm pretty proud of where it's gone. We've got beautiful facilities, we've got forklifts, we've got 3 shops, great people. So, it's been an interesting journey. I mean, I had a pickup sank in the basin one time, paid off that week earlier by Paul Foster.
Oh, that's right.
He sank the son of a gun.
Well, I started in 1986. I've always worked with numbers. When my dad had a grocery store, I helped him wait on customers and all that, and went to college and ended up being a CPA in Portland. And after about 10 years there, I decided, okay, this is for me, so I started looking for a job. And one day, one of my fellow employees walked in and said, I understand you're looking for a job. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, there's a lawyer friend of mine knows of a company in Astoria, and she's gonna be gone for a week, so, maybe call her when you get back. And so anyway, I waited a week and finally called her back, and it was Nikki Hatton, who was our corporate lawyer for, 30, 40 years. And so we're talking, and she's saying, yeah, tell me this, a couple locations, and on and on. I said, well, who is this? If you don't mind me asking, because I'm from Astoria. And she said, well, it's England Marine. I said, oh, for crying out loud. I says, John's first wife was my second grade school teacher, and that was the year they got married. So, anyway, he said, well, I'm coming to Portland, let's get together and have lunch. And so we met, we talked, and I said, okay, well, I can't start until my second daughter is born. And he said, okay, fine, and when's that? I said, well, that's gonna be middle of June. So every time he'd see my folks downtown, he'd go like this, and they'd go, no baby yet. All right, well, anyway, Amy was born on July 2nd, and I started on July 3rd, and that was almost 34 years ago. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot, like Ron says, it's a lot of work. The company's been very good to all of us. They have a terrific retirement plan. But it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we used to do everything. We'd stock shelves, we'd put freight away, we'd load the yellow box trucks on Wednesday night or whatever to head down south, and then we all had our normal jobs that we're supposed to be doing, so it was a lot of fun. Couple things in 1988, I can remember John coming in and said, hey, we got an opportunity to buy a store. I said, where's that? He said, Newport. And you want to go down and talk to him? I said, sure. So we go down, and it was probably June. Go down and talk to Wally Hamilton. Wally was an elderly, short man, wore his hat sideways, kind of, the cock, and he always had his hand in his pocket. He was jiggling the change all the time. And so we were in his house, and we were sitting there, and pretty soon he goes, and we go, yeah, we said, oh no, John looks at me like, you're the one gonna give him a CPR. And he points over a little bottle on the table, and this is nitro pills, so he gets that gift to him, he puts it in his mouth, and pretty soon he was fine. And anyway, 2 months later, August 1st, 1988, we started back in Newport, and we've been here ever since. That's Vince, been here since then, yeah. So we did the same thing for Marine Wholesale. John got a phone call from a rep down in Arizona, I think it was, and same kind of deal. Say, hey, there's a great opportunity for you guys down here. So you guys want to go down? And so Ed Carlson and I, we went down the day after Labor Day, and within a month, well, really within about 2 or 3 days, we had a warehouse we found. We were perfect. We had hired 4 employees from down there. We actually met these guys, Bill Perry, John Rodriguez, B2, or Bill Weir, and Tim Sheeran. We met them in a motel room with a case of beer, and they had no idea who Ed and I were. We just showed up, they come walking, they're like, who are these guys? Anyway, they all agreed to go to work for us, and within I think it was the next month, we had our first dealer show. We had merchandise, about $9,000 worth of merchandise came in, and that was our stock.
It's still 17 cases of beer.
Yeah.